We know there's a pedophile ring and the Catholic Church. It sucks. It's annoying. I'm Catholic. It sucks too.
It's your problem. You go and talk to the Pope. He's your boss.
Yeah.
Yes, and look what happened. And he's still not doing anything. Then fix it. So stop preaching here. We can go over there. What is wrong with you?
Have you ever tried to reason with an unreasonable person? I have. And it made me wish that instead I was flossing the back teeth of the lions in the African Serengeti during feeding time. Well, friends, when you add some emotion and some alcohol to that, you pretty much get World War III. Today on Way of the Master, we're going to see Ray Comfort witness to a drunk, angry, vape-wielding individual, and we're going to see the fireworks fly, friends. Joining me, as always, my wonderful co-hosts, Ray Comfort, Mark Spence, and Eddie Roman. Now, guys, let me tell you, I'm excited about today's episode because this was probably one of the most colorful interviews that I've ever seen Ray do. I mean, it was colorful, but it was fun. And as I said, even though the guy was a bit kind of out there, you got to like him. So we're going to talk about that today. But before we jump into that and show the video, I want to ask you guys for some of your favorite memories of some of your favorite hecklers. Ray, you've had a few hecklers over the course of your lifetime. You got any memories?
Well, it's not favorite. It's a memory. I just stepped down from my ladder, and a guy who was about a little taller than me, but he was kind of rotund. He said to me, right close to my face, Jesus said, love your enemies. He had a deep voice. And then I said, yeah. He said, who is your enemy? And I says, I don't know. And he said, Lucifer. And he began to hit me with his stomach, like, ooh, ooh. And no kidding, he bumped me with his stomach probably 10 or 15 times. And I thought, I seem to have a problem here. And so I said to him, I did what you do with a salesman when they want to sell a product. They give you a choice. I said, you're either going to hit me or hug me. And he hugged me and walked off. So praise the Lord for that.
Oh, that's hilarious. Ray, would that one outdo that when Billy in the square put your shirt over your head and dragged you to the police substation there?
No, it wasn't a shirt. It was a sweater. I was preaching to a crowd of maybe 100 people. And he came out and he was very angry because I think I called him a transsexual instead of some other sexual thing. I wasn't up on the terms.
How dare you, Ray?
He was furious.
And this was like, what, 20 years ago or something?
Yeah, about 20 years ago. And he grabbed my sweater and lifted me up and pulled my sweater over my head and carried me to the police station. It was humiliating.
Man, if only we were videotaping back then.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ray, where were the cameras rolling for that one?
Well, the police held me for about 10 minutes and let me go. There was no big transgression. The crowd stayed, and I'd left my laptop in my case by my ladder. I was pleased it was still there. I guess it was New Zealand. And I stood up and said to the crowd, sorry about that. I'm always getting carried away.
Yeah, well, hey, let's not forget what Billy did to me.
Audience laughter dropped him with that joke. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Getting carried away. Your friends will let you down like elevators. Now, Mark, I met Billy and you met Billy. In fact, you were behind the camera when Billy did something to me and you kept filming. Why don't you tell our friends about that, Max Speens?
I think it's one of the greatest highlights of my life.
You see, friends, with friends like that, who needs enemies, right?
Ray's the one who always tells us if something bad happens to me, just keep filming.
That's right.
That's
Keep
the
rolling.
rule.
Keep
It's
rolling.
a law among our camera crew. Keep filming. Look.
Yeah, well, this guy kept on slapping you in the face, and I was just thinking to myself, why is Easy not doing anything about this?
Right.
Should I help him? And I said, nah, I'll just keep filming.
Good choice.
And he kept slapping you.
Oh, that was crazy. Well, that's on one of our episodes when things go wrong for Way of the Master television program. For those of you who haven't seen it, it's on our YouTube channel. In fact, the thumbnails of me getting choked by Billy. And sometimes when people don't recognize me, I just go, ah, And they go, "Oh, you? Yes, I remember
See,
you."
Billy didn't realize your background. You come from the Crips, and if you had backslidden, he would have been on his back.
You know, honestly, to this day, I look back on that and I just see God's restraining hand. Not because I'm some tough macho guy, but because that was reflex for me, you know, based on my past. And somehow the Lord restrained me, and I was able to be a loving witness to Him still in the midst of that. I mean,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
the same with that guy
bended
was
off his
thumping me in
arm,
the
but
stomach. You know, I've got a natural reflex that wanted to bump him back with my stomach, but I held back.
boom.
Yeah, my reflex is this.
Go ahead, Mark.
I was over there preaching in Huntington Beach one time, and Tank Abbott, he's a UFC champion,
Oh
went
yeah.
walking by, and he started to heckle me, and he told me where to go with a finger. And I
That
have
way.
these thoughts back because his dad was one of the teachers at my high school when I was in high school. And he used to come into class saying, "I just bailed my son out of jail again because he got in trouble for fighting."
Oh,
So we were
wow.
always hearing these stories about Tank Abbott going to jail, being arrested for fighting, and he just didn't care. He was just mad at the world. And here he's walking by me, upset at me because I'm preaching the gospel, and I'm thinking, "Oh no, what do I do?" And he just kept on walking, thankfully. And it's on YouTube. You can look it up. You can Google it.
You know, Mark,
But,
that encouraged me because I thought people were telling me I was number one. I get that a lot.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
The one time I was pretty fearful, it was the time when I first started preaching. I'm just fresh off the Ambassadors Academy, and I'm out at the Garden Walk over by Disneyland, and I'm on a box, and it was the first time I understood the importance of having a box. There was a big drunk guy, kind of like a biker, really long hair. He kind of looked like that rock star Meatloaf, and he came up to me. He was drunk. I could smell alcohol in his breath, and I could smell it very easily because he was about 3 inches away from me. And he was eye to eye with me, eye to eye, and I was on the box. And I was just thinking, I am so glad I'm on the box right now because, and you know, I basically asked him to step back, and he did. And it's just the weirdest thing when you're on the box. I don't know what it is. It's a psychological thing. But, you know, I got into a little debate with him, and he ended up just walking away. But I just remember thinking, this guy is going to punch me or do something really bad. But I'm just really glad that I'm not looking up at him right now. You know, that would just add to the whole, the whole badness of it.
You know, I was preaching one time in New Zealand, and I get done preaching, and this guy comes up to me, grabs me by the head, and I'm like, and he's great, and puts his head up against my head, and he does this Maori greeting, presses his nose up against my nose. I'm thinking, what? I thought this guy was gonna kill me. He's like, "Yeah, I love you, mate. Yep, or whatever." I get that. Ray, is that like a common greeting over there? What in the world?
Yeah, it's the Hawaiians do it. Our Maori indigenous people actually came down from Hawaii a couple of hundred years ago, or 300 or 400 years ago. And so they have that same greeting where they pull faces and poke the tongues out and rub noses.
Press his nose against my nose, Ray.
Beautiful.
That was a bit
What's wrong with that?
uncomfortable. Well, look, we're going to get to the video, but I can't get to the video since we're talking about hecklers before telling one of my favorite stories with Ray. And that's when we were preaching one time at, I think it was Santa Monica. And this guy came with the deepest voice in the world and started to talk like he was on, "I am the Lord thy God." I mean, booming voice, prophetic type sounding utterances. And Ray goes, "What's your name?" He goes, "Larry." Larry. It was one of the coolest things I'd ever witnessed in my life. All right, friends, enough of us. I'm sure you're sick of at least 3 of us that are non-Arab. Now we're going to go to the video of Ray and the wonderful, fiery, drunk, vape-wielding heckler. Kind of heckler. Anyways.
Why does he let a lot of preachers do some child molesting? That's up, and we found out, and it's annoying as
So what's your name?
Doug.
Doug, I'm going to answer that question, okay?
And why do you not deny about dinosaurs when we got the fossils and we show it to you?
Stay there. I want to
I am here.
questions.
Okay.
Doug,
Yes.
big question
I'm
about
here. I
that
want to hear
word
this. I'm here.
The Bible speaks of the permissive will of God and the perfect will of God. God permits men to do evil. He permitted Hitler to kill the Jews. He permits pedophile priests to do
So-
Let me finish, okay? He can permit you to commit adultery, to lie and steal because he's rich and mercy. But the day will come when he will punish pedophile priests. He will punish Hitler. He will punish adulterers, thieves, liars, fornicators. And that's why you need the Savior.
So okay, my turn. My turn. So why can't you your whole establishment because you
See, because you watch your language.
okay, so
Thanks.
why can't you fix your establishment because your establishment did some nasty things, sorry, wrong things. And we know they did wrong things, and you know it too, and you kind of like put it to the side and move people around and say, dude, they didn't do it. Well, they did. We'll make sure they'll go to another church.
Okay, let's go back.
And it's true. It's true.
Let's go
Won't
back
you?
to the dinosaurs.
I just want you to know to accept it, and I'm like, that's fine. All right, let's fix it together. That's all I'm saying, bro. Are you kidding? Fix what? Fix what?
Hey, hey,
Fix what? Fix what? We know there's the pedophile thing ring and the Catholic Church. It sucks. It's annoying. I'm Catholic. It sucks too.
Well,
Just
I'm
hearing
not a
about that,
Catholic.
it
It's your
sucks.
problem. You go and talk to the Pope. He's your boss.
Yes, and look what happened. And he's still not doing anything. And he's letting it happen. He's letting it happen. What are you gonna do? He's letting it happen.
What do you want me to do?
Go instead of preaching here like, you know, hey dude, everything's all good, go up to them
Everything's
and
not
tell
good.
them, yo, bro, fix the everything.
They won't let me on the balcony.
Then fix it. So stop preaching here. We can go over there. What is
No, I
wrong
wanna
with
fix
you?
things. I wanna
You can
get
fix
those
things. You can fix things over there and stop preaching here and yelling if no one cares right now, dude. Bro,
Okay, now let
you
me
can
ask
fix
you
it.
a dinosaur
You can
question.
fix it.
Let me answer your dinosaur question.
But you just yelled. Oh yeah, this is great, dude. Fossils don't exist. All right, got it, dude.
Okay, listen to me.
yeah,
Turn
let's-
around this way.
yeah,
will
let's
you?
do
Can you
that.
face me? Turn around a little bit.
Face him.
You're facing that way.
Oh wait,
Okay, the Bible mentions dinosaurs in Job chapter 40. It says the biggest creature God had made. It has a tail like a tree. It's herbivorous. Drinks up the Nile with a drink. It's a massive thing with a strength in its loins, and its bones are like bars of bronze. The Bible mentions dinosaurs very clearly. I believe in them. I don't know why you think I don't. Okay? Now you an atheist?
You want to hear something crazy?
Yes, I've already heard. Are you
God
an atheist?
even says girls are third person. They're fillers. They're just there. They're from our ribs. They're basic. They're not in here. They're just there. And you know the funny part? Dude, we should be living at Eden Garden, but a girl us over. So what are you gonna say now?
Could you watch your potty mouth? There are kids
Oh,
here.
sorry,
Yeah,
but
seriously,
I'm
he
just
does.
trying to explain that. So what are you gonna explain
Now
now?
listen, when you say, oh, you want me to clean up, I'm trying to clean up.
No,
We're
no,
starting
I'm sorry,
with you.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
We're starting
I'm
with someone
emotional.
who's
I'm so
potty
sorry.
mouthed
I'm
who
sorry. I
drinks alcohol
apologize.
and
I'm
drugs
an
in
idiot.
public. Okay?
I
So
apologize.
before you
I
judge
apologize.
others, judge
I
yourself.
apologize. I'm 100%. I apologize.
I don't believe you're
Not
going to
for
do
the
it again
drinking,
in a
but
minute.
for
You got no
the-
I'm
self.
emotional right now. I'm sorry. I'm
So,
emotional.
are you an atheist?
No.
what are you?
I told you I was Catholic.
Look it up, Catholic atheists.
I'm Catholic, but
Woo! Doug, I dug Doug, Ray. I mean, the song that comes to my mind when I think of Doug is "This Doug is on fire."
What is that? We just lost the one viewer we had.
This Doug is on fire. Anyway, people out there will know what I'm talking about. But Ray, first of all, let me just say, I was that vape machine was huge. It looked like the thing had an engine and wheels on it. I thought he was going to chuck it at you at one point.
So that's a big one? I'm not into them, actually. I don't vape.
Oh, really? Okay.
No.
Well, yeah, never have, never will, right, Ray? Sure. Listen, okay, Ray, let's talk about this. First of all, it's obvious that Doug was drunk, to say the least. At what point did you realize he was drunk? And let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, there are people who are watching right now who do encounter drunk people, I'm sure, when they're out there sharing the gospel. So what do? Do you keep talking? Do you stop? Do you offer him a bigger vape machine? What do you do, Ray?
Yes, all the above. No, whenever I get someone who's colorful, I don't care if they're drunk because I know it's going to be good footage and hundreds of thousands of people are going to come under the sound of the gospel because we've got a colorful video. Now, that doesn't sound very, very, very nice, but it's true. I'm not just speaking to him. I'm speaking to a camera that people, unsaved people, are going to listen to the gospel. So I see anyone who's colorful, just a wonderful opportunity for the gospel.
Yeah. Well, he seemed to be taking you to task on Catholicism and the pedophilia going on. It was like you were like Father Raymond or something.
It was my white collar that did it.
Pope Raymond. Maybe he thought you were the Pope, Ray. Could it be?
Yeah, I'm too short for the balcony.
Yeah. Can you guys imagine Ray on the Pope's balcony?
You just see your hand come over the top.
First, he'd probably fall off.
You know what? Right now would be a good time. You could just show up with like a COVID-19 exterminator shirt on and just say, I'm here to, and just no one will want to touch you and just go right up there and get on the balcony. Like,
Ray, I can imagine you up there with the $1 million bill gun, one in each hand.
Yeah,
Just
I'd love to.
throwing
I'd love
tracks.
to have the opportunity. Seriously, I'd love to have the opportunity to speak to so many unsaved people and share the gospel with them.
Yeah. All right. So, guys, let's break this down a little bit. So, okay, he was talking about pedophilia. Obviously, Doug was drunk, but I think even in his state of drunkenness, he was echoing the sentiments of a lot of people. So, Mark, a lot of people talk about that. Okay, obviously, he's not thinking about Christianity, he's thinking about Catholicism. I understand historically they're both called Christian, but we know what we're talking about. Evangelical Christianity versus Catholicism and its false gospel. Mark, still though, evangelicalism is not without its problems. There's pedophilia that goes on. There's adultery that goes on. There's corrupt pastors, false teachers. How do you respond to the person who's angry toward Christianity in the church because of Christian leaders and such?
Yeah, rightfully so, right? That there are people who claim to be a Christian and there's craziness that happens. We have to remember that not everybody who claims to be a Christian is a Christian, right? I mean, I like the illustration that you use that if I dress up in a Los Angeles Lakers uniform and I try to get out onto the floor to play some basketball with everybody, they're not going to let me. Why not? I look like a Laker. No, you may or may not be, but listen, you're not a Laker. And because you're not a Laker, you don't get to play with the Lakers, right? There's that distinction that needs to be made. I remember I was in Hollywood one time and I came across a guy, he was probably 40 years old or so. He was with his mother and he was drunk. Right? And I tried to share the gospel with him. He was not wanting to have any part of it. And I said, well, can I at least pray for you? And he said, no, man. And then his mom goes, receive prayer, Junior. It was the funniest thing.
Good old
So
mama.
I started to pray for him. And when I was all done praying for him, he goes, whoa, that was intense. And then mom grabs Junior by the ear, 40 years old, and pulls him away, right? Listen, people that are drunk, it doesn't matter. You still have this conscience because it's God-given. And people know right from wrong. You're going to come across people occasionally that'll say, hey, what about all the atrocities that has been caused by the church? Well, listen, Jesus never said to follow my people. He said to follow me. And that's not going to hold water when you stand before God on Judgment Day. Each person is going to have to give an account thereof on the day of judgment. So I continually bring it back to the person. And that's what Ray does inside the video, right? He brings it back to the person. Back to the person. It's like the person who says, what happens to the people who never hear about Jesus? Are they going to go to hell? And a quick response to that is simply, listen, why don't you become a Christian? And if you care so much about those people, well, then go and tell them. Go tell them about Jesus. But they use that as really a bush to hide behind because this guy is not interested in following the ways of Christianity because of his own private sin. And it's evident in this conversation that Ray's having with him in the open air.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing. You know, I love that story you told about the guy's mom, Mark. I remember one time I was at a gas station getting gas, and this guy was filling up gas for his mom's car. He was dressed really nice. And then he just like very brazenly goes, hey, man, buy me a pack of cigarette. I go, no way, man. He goes, come on, man, buy me a pack of cigarette. Come on, man, come on. I go, no, man, come on, man. And then I just started to rap at him. I started busting freestyle raps like crazy at him. He's like, whoa. And then I gave him a track, and his mom goes, yes, thank you. Yeah, please. I've been praying for him. I'm like, yeah, go, Mom. Sometimes you have to do crazy things. Anyway, Ray's not amused. All right. So, Ray, you told him he could be a
Took the
Catholic.
track off you so you'd stop rapping.
You should have seen the look on this kid's face because he was like trying to punk me and play with me. So I just started. He's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Anyway, so Ray, you told him at the end there, our friend Doug, that he could be a Catholic atheist.
I haven't watched the clip.
What's that about, Ray?
You weren't paying attention.
Yeah, you weren't paying attention, Ray. All right, so
I think the point.
yeah. All right, so Ray, what, Mark? Were you saying something?
You know what? The Catholic atheist. I actually, in April of 2018, Pope Francis told a little kid that his atheist dad who had died could be in heaven. So I wouldn't be surprised if someone was to think there was actually a Catholic atheist, when they're hearing stuff like that. So kind of interesting.
Yeah, you come across that a lot, don't you? People of different religions or different denominations. Oh, I'm a Baptist, right? I grew up in the South. But you know that their lifestyle is condemning them as something else. So we like to bring a distinction that there is a difference between atheism and practical atheism. An atheist pretends like there's no God and lives accordingly. A practical atheist is one who claims to be a Mormon or an agnostic or anything else, and then they live as if there is no God, right? So
Right.
I come across a lot of people that are religious. Oh, I believe in God. But then they live as if there is no God and nobody to answer to. So it's not unusual to come across somebody, even within Judaism. My wife's parents are of the Jewish descent. They claim to be Jews, yet they have nothing to do with Judaism, right? And they really, for all practical purposes, they look like atheists. They live like atheists.
Right.
So that's not as unusual as you could imagine.
Right. Very good, Mark. All right. Well, the Doug that we dug seems to have dug himself a deeper pit. So let's check out part 2 of Doug.
I believe the morals. I love the morals, dude. I love helping people out, dude. And like embracing
How are you
people.
doing with the commandments? You broken the commandments?
Yes.
You're a liar?
Like every normal person breaks commandments. Did you break commandments?
Yes, sir, that's why I'm a Christian.
See? So we all did it. But then we try to be our best self.
Let's go through them for a moment.
Can you understand me right now?
Yes.
We're all trying to be our best self right now.
Well, sir, you're failing today by your
I'm
mouth.
failing too. You said you failed too. You
Yes,
broke
I
a commandment.
am.
You failed,
Bro, in public.
bro. You broke a commandment. You failed. Why don't you just admit it and embrace it and just explain me why everything? I already told you about everything else.
So,
You keep
let me ask you those
skewing
questions
it
that I
up.
asked Doug before. Have you lied and stolen? Have you lied and stolen?
I have not stolen. I lied. Like any other people. When I was a little kid, my parents like, did you do that? I'm like, no. But I know I did that. Like every other kid. He smiled because he know he did it too.
Now,
Like
have you
every
used
other
God's
kid.
name in vain?
Yes. Are you kidding me, dude? Everyone said that, dude.
That Jesus said whoever looks at a woman and lusts for her has committed adultery already within his heart.
It doesn't matter. You're still excusing for the thing that I was saying. Are the pedophile thing and God is. Still waiting for that, dude. Still waiting for that.
You ever looked at a woman with lust?
What am I? He's gay. Oh, I'm the devil over now. What about
a man? I checked him out.
I'm sorry about that. Well, I don't want to ignore them.
Homosexual?
Yes.
Okay, have you ever looked with lust?
And I love guys and girls. I'm glad.
Okay, your name again?
Doug.
Doug?
Yes.
Okay, Doug.
My parents came here, dude, and they're
Doug,
awesome.
you're a self-admitted liar, a blasphemer.
Self-admitted liar.
I got
And
three
he's
of
the one lying about his own.
He didn't say it, but you are. Just listen to him.
Just listen for a couple of moments, Doug, okay? If God gives you justice on Judgment Day, you're going to be guilty and end up in hell. I don't want that to happen to you. I care about you. I love you. I love you enough to tell you the truth. The God's wrath abides upon you if you die in your sins. You'll end up in hell. There's no purgatory. But God is rich in mercy, and He provided a Savior in Christ who died for you, suffered on the cross. For the sin of
All right, well, calm down, Constantine. I want to tell you. I guess I'll live the movie, dude. I like you. You're a guardian angel. You want good for people, but the thing that I'm is still Your whole system is
Language.
messed up, and you guys keep denying that it's fixed when it's not.
It has not fixed. I hate more than you do, okay?
And I love you. Then why are we yelling at each other?
We're not yelling at each
wait,
other.
what are we
We're talking.
denying us
This is
fixed?
America. Okay?
No,
Doug,
you said
no, I didn't hear.
Doug, I want to conclude because I've got a lovely wife too. But let me finish here.
Sorry.
Just I need your attention, okay?
Yes.
Doug, if you die in your sins, you're going to end up in hell. But God's rich in mercy provided a Savior. On that cross, Jesus took the punishment for the sin of the world. God's made provision for you to be washed and cleansed and forgiven every sin you've ever committed. So you're no longer an enemy of God in your mind through wicked works, but God can make you righteous because He's merciful and because of what Jesus did on the cross.
Okay.
Hang on a minute, but you must repent and trust alone in Jesus. Not your goodness, you don't have any. Trust alone in Jesus. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. But well, one question. I don't know. It's a weird question. Is God black or white?
God is a spirit. He's not got a body like a man.
I like it. Good answer, dude. That's good.
That's a quick answer, good. I see a lot
Good
of
answer. I don't know.
That was awesome. Ray, shall we call you now Ray Constantine?
Oh, Constantine. Is that what he said?
That was
Constantine.
awesome. So Ray, look, how cool was that? I mean, you guys tussled, and then he says, "I like you," and he even calls you a guardian angel. What's up with that?
Yeah, he was drunk.
Good, because I'm the Arab cherub here, right? I'm the one in the angelic field, not you, Ray.
Mhm.
But look, Mark, Eddie, speak to this real quick. He doesn't like the church leadership because it's corrupt, but he likes their morals, and yet he stays within the church. What's up with that? Eddie, speak to it real quick. 10 seconds.
I think he's just bound by tradition. You know, in Matthew 15:3, Jesus warned the Pharisees about adhering to tradition rather than the commandments of God. I used to be a wedding photographer, and so I was around a bunch of different couples getting married. I remember one time a Catholic groom going through all these Catholicism classes just to become a Catholic so he can go to church and marry this girl. He didn't care anything about Catholicism at all. It was just a tradition that he had to get married in order to be in this girl's life. So, you know, a lot of people out there who just are into some kind of tradition, they really don't care about the church, but they stay in it for a bunch of different reasons.
Yeah. Mark, what do you think? About 10 seconds or so, we're wrapping up.
Well, it's not unusual. I have a lot of Catholic family that have no problem doing things that are illegal or illicit, right? Welcome to that religion. It's dangerous.
Yeah. And Ray, finally, real quick, he hugged you at the end. How often does that happen?
Quite regularly. I don't know why.
You're just so adorable and huggable, Ray.
Huggable
Like a
guy.
little teddy bear.
Well, guys, unbelievably, we are out of time again. But what another phenomenal program it's been just in seeing that encounter, Ray, that you had. And friends, we're so glad that you've joined us. Again, we exist to inspire and equip you to fulfill the Great Commission. We know these times are tough with COVID-19, but hey, people are still lost. The gospel can still save. So get out there and let God use you mightily for His glory. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time here on Way of the Master, Home Edition.
After being out of stock for months, we finally have the Evidence Bible back in. Our publishers told us they can't keep it on shelves. This comprehensive study Bible answers the 200 most commonly asked questions about the Christian faith. It has the words of Jesus in red, how to start a spiritual conversation, scientific facts in the Bible. It shows the fallacy of evolution, has hundreds of quality quotes from Spurgeon, Whitefield, Wesley, and others, plus how to make an atheist backslide. Everything you could ever want to know about evangelism and apologetics. Over 1,800 packed pages. Now available at livingwaters.com or anywhere where good books and Bibles are sold.